So hello there and welcome back to Ageless and Active. We're going to do a little bit more work today on the feet, ankles and legs with a view to strengthening the legs to work on the balance. So the most important thing about making sure that you are comfortable is maybe to have a chair or be standing next to the kitchen surface so that it's there if you need it. Okay, so prop your iPad or laptop or whatever it is, your phone if you're watching, up on the surface so that you can see what you're doing or you can see what I'm doing and work along with me. So I'm standing not too far away from the chair because I don't want to be leaning. I need to have my shoulders relaxed and very gently, 1 foot at a time, lifting the heels from the ground. So you're peeling the foot off the floor, lifting the heel away from the floor. So it makes a big difference if you're just pressing the toes down. Try and lift the heel away from the floor. See how that makes a difference. So we're just beginning to loosen up, beginning to discover the muscles in our feet and ankles and calves. And then if there isn't any issues with either of your ankles, and if your ankles are feeling comfortable, then maybe you can put a bit more of a bounce into this. So briefly, you're up on your tiptoes. Again, keep looking ahead of you. Don't look down at your feet. Just the weight of the head as you let it drop forward might cause you to lose your balance. So keep your chin up. You know what your feet are doing without looking at them. And then if it feels okay when you're briefly up on your tiptoes, then stay there. So I'll show you from the side. I'm actively lifting my heels away from the floor. And then rest. So lifting up onto the tiptoes, again, if you turn now so you're facing your kitchen surface or the chair, keep your eyes on the horizon and focus on this central part of your chest. So as you're lifting your heels from the floor, imagine that there's a string lifting you up from the chest, lifting that chest up towards the ceiling. So this upward momentum, feel the muscles in the back engaging to lift the chest, lift the heart. So if you wanted, you could slow it right down. Inhale every time you lift the heels, lift the chest. Exhale every time you breathe out. So I'm going to do this 4 more times. Lifting those heels as high as you can away from the floor, strengthening the feet and the ankles, and then lowering the heels. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, dropping the heels back. 1 more time. Up onto the tiptoes, lift up the chest, and exhale, rest the heels on the floor. Okay, so 1 foot and an ankle at a time. Just stir out some of that tension that you might have put in the ankles, 1 foot in front of the other. Circling the knee above the ankle as if you're stirring your toe bones into the floor. A few circles in either direction. This is done to take any tension that you might have put out in those ankles while you were making that effort. So if you move that foot further away, you can put more weight into it. So you decide how close your feet are. A few circles in each direction. Okay, so again, you decide, I'm going to stand on the right leg first. So I'm standing nearest my chair with my right leg, with my right hand on the chair. Peel that left foot off the floor. Wait for a heartbeat or 2 as you move all your weight into that right foot. So that right foot feels like it's working twice as hard, which it is. And then you can lift up that left foot from the floor. Now, it doesn't have to lift high. You don't have to have the knee lifting. Again, if you're leaning, try and keep the head up. So there's still that upward momentum through the head and through the chest. Maybe you could start to swing that leg Okay, any movement, any momentum makes it more difficult to control. Not forgetting, of course, that the leg you are standing on is working twice as hard. So every now and again, you'll have to stop, have a rest, shake the leg, and then turn around, and then you do the other leg. Again, so make sure you, as you peel that redundant foot off, wait a breath or two for that leg, the standing leg, to respond. Push down that foot twice as hard into the floor, and then lift the other foot off the ground completely. Again, trying to keep the rest of your body still. And then perhaps swinging the leg. Again, I should do this standing on the leg nearest the chair, so that you don't kick the chair. So notice your swinging leg. Try and keep the toes and the foot looking forward at all times. If you turn the foot out, tends to make the hips twist. So trying to keep the toes in line, facing forwards. And again, as soon as the standing leg starts to protest, put the swinging leg down, shake the legs, or wobble the thighs. Kick out any tension from your feet. Okay, so every move we make, we're strengthening the hips, the knees, the ankle. So let's come back to one leg again. Take a moment or two before you peel that foot off the floor. Make sure your standing leg is ready. Don't look down at your foot because you know what it's doing. Circle the ankle. So I'm trying to keep my thigh bone as still as possible, drawing circles with my toes, and the other direction. So just that little bit of effort, and again, other direction. And you do this until the standing leg is complaining, and when it is, you stand down, you shake the legs, have a little rest, have a little wobble, and then turn and do the other side. Again, that standing leg is working twice as hard as it normally does. So when it starts to complaining, maybe there's discomfort in the ankle, the knee, the hip, wherever it is, stop, have a rest, shake the legs. Every time you stand on that leg, it's working twice as hard as it normally does. Okay, so standing on both legs then, holding onto the chair for a little bit of assistance. Peel the foot furthest away from the chair off the floor. And this time you're going to draw a semicircle on the floor around your standing leg. Foot behind, keeping the foot close to the floor. You don't even have to lift up the toes. You're sweeping that leg in front and then behind the standing leg. This one, you do need to be standing on the leg nearest the chair so that you don't kick the chair. And again, as soon as your thigh or hip starts to complain, stop, have a shake, turn around. Drawing that semicircle on or just above the floor. With the toes of the moving leg. And then stop, have a rest, give the legs a shake, maybe have the hands on the thighs to give them a wobble, softly rubbing the knees. And then if it's not painful, you can bring your feet a bit closer together if your knees aren't protesting, and circle your knees. I'm drawing small circles, rotating the knees above the ankle and the opposite direction. So you don't have to be working as hard as you can. The knees don't have to be very bent. And again, this is strengthening all the muscles around the knees and in the feet and ankles. And change directions again a couple more times. And then slowly and gently come back to the center. Let go as you stand. Give your feet and ankles a shake. Maybe have a sigh. And thank you very much. All the class there, every time we stood on one leg, you are strengthening the feet, the ankles, the knees. So stick with it, and in no time at all, you'll notice that your legs are feeling stronger. Thank you.